Hello, this is Yogeshwar, and in this video we will be discussing about a very important topic called Yama Gundam. In our last video, we discussed about Rahu column. Rahu, as you know, is a malefic of the malefics, and we discussed in our last video as to what time during a day Rahu becomes extremely powerful. So any kind of auspicious activities need to be avoided during that time of Rahu, and we had discussed about the various rules given in Vedic astrology as to what time Rahu becomes extremely powerful during that time of the day. And of course, there was a rider which I may not have mentioned in my last video, was that although we do not have to undertake any auspicious activity during Rahu column, it is believed that spiritual activities can be taken during Rahu column. And as a matter of fact, it is believed that if you do the prayers to goddess Durga during Rahu column, it is extremely good. And the reason for this is because Rahu is directly related to the goddess Durga, and he becomes pleased if Durga is worshipped during his period or during Rahu Kal, or Rahu column rather. So this was a rider which I may not have mentioned in my last video. So anyways, today we will be talking about Yama Gundam. Yama Gundam is also a very inauspicious time, and it is a time which belongs to the god Yama. Yama is actually considered the lord of death, and in ancient scriptures and Puranas he is believed to be the brother of another malefic planet Saturn. And Yama, since it's considered to be the god of death, and we figure out what time Yama gets most powerful during the day, we need to make sure that we do not undertake any auspicious activity. Just like we discussed about Rahu, that we do not need to take any auspicious activity during Rahu column, similar applies to Yama. Since he is the god of death, we do not have to undertake any kind of auspicious activity during Yama Gundam. So how do we figure out what is the period when Yama gets extremely powerful during the day, and what would be the time allocated to him, and how do we calculate Yama Gundam, or the period for Yama? So the rules is pretty simple. We take the sunrise time and we take the sunset time and we divide it into 8, just like we did it for Rahu column. And the rule for Yama Gundam is as follows, as you can see on the screen, that on Sunday the 5th division has been allocated to Yama. So assuming that an individual where he is based out of, the sunrise and sunset is 6 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the morning, it's very simple. There are 12 hours in between the sunrise and the sunset. We divide it by 8, and 12 divided by 8 is 1.5, which means 1 hour and 30 minutes. So the period for Yama Gundam, or the period for the god of death Yama, will be for 1 hour and 30 minutes during the day. And the rules are as follows, that we're taking an assumption that 6 o'clock in the morning the sun rises and 6 o'clock in the evening the sun sets. And of course this may change, but as an example we are taking this. So on Sunday the rule is that we will take the 5th division. So the 5th division would mean that the Yama Gundam will fall between noontime until 1:30 p.m. And like I said, this is just an example in case the sun rises at 6 o'clock in the morning and sun sets at 6 o'clock in the evening. Of course, in case there is a difference in the sunrise and sunset, you have to figure out what exactly is the sunrise and what exactly is the sunset. And then you have to calculate how many hours are there in between sunrise and sunset, and then divide it by 12. And the fifth division on a Sunday will be Yamagandam. The fourth division has been allocated to the god of death Yama on a Monday. The third division has been allocated to the god Yama on a Tuesday. So example is, again, if the sun rises at 6 o'clock and the sun sets at 6 o'clock in the evening, so on Monday Yamagandam will be the fourth division, which will be between 10:30 a.m. until noon. Similarly, on Tuesday, since he has been allocated the third division, the Yamagandam will be between 9 a.m. in the morning until 10:30 in the morning. On Wednesday, Yamagandam would be the second division, which means that in case the sun rises at 6 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the and the sun sets at 6 o'clock in the evening, then the Yamagandam will be the second division, which will be between 7:30 a.m. until 9 a.m. in the morning. Thursday, the first division, meaning which in case the sun rises at 6 o'clock in the morning and sun sets at 6 p.m., then on Thursday the first division, which will be between 6 a.m. until 7:30 a.m., would be the Yamagandam. Friday, the rule is that Yama has been given the seventh division, which means that in case the sun rises at 6 o'clock in the morning and sun sets at 7 o'clock in the evening, the seventh division will fall between 3 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. And on Saturday, Yama has been allocated the sixth division, meaning which that in case the sun rises at 6 a.m. and sun sets at 6 p.m., the Yamagandam will be between 1:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. And like I said, once again, I'm repeating myself, don't go by just this, because you have to figure out the exact time where you're located of sunrise and the exact time where you're located for sunset, and then find out how many hours are there, and then divide it by 8 and make 8 divisions and follow the rules which are mentioned on the screen. So hopefully I've made myself clear here, and in our next video we will be taking another topic. In the meanwhile, I will recommend go check out my website below. There's a link below to my website, and subscribe to my channel, and good luck to you, friends.